Hello everyone, welcome back to Diksha Karnataka YouTube channel. And if you are someone who is appearing for KCET 2025 exam, and if you are afraid that your PU board exam was not good enough, then how can I score a good rank in KCET? How can I score 50 plus marks in my KCET exam? Then this small short video is must watch for all of you. Okay, don't go anywhere without completing this video. Okay, I am going to discuss everything including the important chapter, important concepts, what are all the question patterns, right? So let's start with today's lecture. So obviously it is a sure shot guide to get to help you to achieve 50 plus marks. Now I can only guide you, whether to follow it or not is up to you. So if you don't follow it, you just watch this video and you come at the end of the exam that, sir, I didn't follow you, I didn't score 50 plus, right? So there is no other option right now. You have to follow this. First, let us understand about the KCET exam. So during KCET exam, you need to answer 60 questions in 60 minutes. They give you additional 10 minutes. That 10 minutes is for filling up your OMR sheet, your exam paper, etc. So do not count that extra time. You have to remember that 60 questions, you must finish it in 60 minutes. About 45 questions are from second year. So on an average, last 10-year paper analysis, 44 to 46 question comes from your second year. So average number of question is 45. This might be 46 for your year, or it can be 44 as well, right? Now remaining 15 questions are from first year. Okay, as I said, based on 46, then it will be 14. If it is 44, then 16 questions can be from first year. So it can it depends on the year and whoever is setting the question paper. So average is obviously is this: 45 questions from your second PU, 15 questions are from your first PU. Okay, 20 to 30 questions are relatively easy. 50% question paper, you can solve it with just normal study. Okay, normal study, 30 plus marks are guaranteed if you have some if you remembered some concepts of your PU1, and if you have understood, if you have studied in depth of your PU2, then definitely these 30 questions will be very easy for you. You don't have to think twice. 15 questions are medium. Here you require to use some of your skills, okay, mathematical skills, analytical skills, some logical thinking. So these 15 questions are medium, but obviously as I am saying medium, that means you have to do a lot of calculations based questions. Okay, calculations are there in the other part also, first easy part also, but they are very they are based on the simple equations, simple calculations, whereas these 15 questions where you have to use some kind of approximation, some kind of shortcuts, etc. Now 15 questions are hard. So as you see that 50% questions are easy, about 25 questions are medium, 25% questions are 25%. Okay, 50% are easy, 25% medium, 25% hard. What is the meaning of hard? Hard questions are those where you see a mixed concept questions. So some concepts from PU1 is mixed with some concepts of your PU2, or two chapters from PU2 are mixed together. One chapter you are using the final concept from one chapter, but the initial concept you need to use some concept from other chapter as well. So those are considered to be hard, where calculations are difficult and as well as your mixed concepts questions are there. Okay, so this 45 questions should be your primary target. So whenever you are preparing, you have to figure out how can you solve this 45 questions easily, 40 to 45 questions easily. If it is for 25, then the medium number of questions will increase. Medium questions will be about 20. Okay, hard questions generally do not go above 15. Okay, last year there are some questions which are out of the syllabus, even though they were easy, but they are out of the syllabus. But this year you can expect it will be be very refined question paper, not any questions from out of the syllabus, because a lot of things happened last year. So they will review the question paper at least 2-3 times to make sure that there are no questions which is out of syllabus, right? So be assured of that there will be no questions out of syllabus, and in case there are some questions out of syllabus, either they will be removed or they will be given as a grace marks. So don't worry about out of syllabus questions. Anyway, so 25 to 30 questions are easy, 15 questions are medium, 15 questions are hard. Okay, so 45 questions, 45 marks you have to score. This 45, there is not a scope of single mistake. Okay, so you have to score on these 45 marks. 15 other hard questions, there are few chances. Now let's see, if you want to prepare for those kind of questions, hard questions, medium questions, easy questions, and identify what are all the hard questions, what are all the medium level of questions, then definitely you have to practice. Now how can you practice? The way to practice is here, Abhyas KCET test series, which we are currently giving you at a very nominal price of 1498. Okay, you can say this is 1498, not 1499, and for that you have to go to the link given in the description. Go to the link, and the process I have explained in yesterday one other video. You can go and check that out as well, right? But obviously this will give you a perfect platform to check your knowledge, check your understanding. Also we will be helping you to improve your skill qualities. You will have access to our exclusive WhatsApp channel, where we will be providing you some tips, tricks, and also live doubt clearing session. You can come and join us, and you can ask your queries, right? So that is a very, very good platform for all of you. You have to join our Abhyas KCET test series. If you have not yet joined it, go and click on the link below. Okay, there was first 4 free tests, but right now there is no scope of free test. You should purchase if you have decided that I want to purchase, right? There is no other option. Now let's see the most important chapters of your KCET 2025 preparation. You cannot skip these chapters at any cost. These chapters are most important, and from this chapter you have to answer easy questions. From this chapter you have to answer medium question. From this chapter you have to answer the hard questions as well. So these are the main chapters for your Q2 preparation. These chapters you cannot skip. Okay, there will be some hard questions. Not all the chapters will have hard questions, but some 4-5 hard questions will come from this all the chapters. So you cannot skip them. You have to study everything from all of these chapters. So let's see what are the chapters. Electric charges and field, first chapter of your Q2. Electrostatic potential and capacitance, second chapter. So from here you can see that from first chapter we are expecting 4 questions. From second chapter we are expecting 3 questions. Current electricity is the most important chapter of your KCET preparation. 6 questions, and maximum up to 7 question comes from this chapter alone. So this is the very high weightage, very high concept chapter, and obviously the concept that you skipped while preparing for your Q2 preparation, you cannot skip anything from this chapter. Obviously when I am saying preparing this chapter means you have to understand, you have to study this chapter in depth, all the concepts. Okay, I have done a lot of one-shot videos on all the chapters. Unfortunately, current electricity chapter, no one is watching current electricity chapter, which is very, very important, right? So you have to check that one-shot video where I have discussed a lot of concept from the current electricity chapter, right? So current electricity chapter is the most important chapter of your Q2. Everyone comes and watch this electric charges and field video. They do not watch current electricity chapter video. Okay, this video has a lot of views, but this video does not have a lot of views. So you have to check current electricity chapter master stroke series where we are doing one-shot videos. Second is moving charges and magnetism, another important chapter. 5 questions come from this chapter as well. Then alternating current, another important 4 questions comes from this chapter. Ray optics and optical instrument, obviously the super important chapter. Here also 4 question comes, right? Wave optics, not super important as obviously these chapters, but still 3 question comes from this chapter. Anything 3 and above are considered to be super important chapters. Okay, dual nature of radiation and matter, again 3 question comes from this chapter. Semiconductor electronics, 4 question comes from this chapter. Now semiconductor electronics used to have logic gates and Zener diode, but those are now deleted, so we are not sure how the questions will be from this chapter. Maybe they will reduce the number of questions, maybe they will give you new type of question from this chapter, but again you cannot skip this chapter as well, because historically 4 questions are coming from this chapter. Right, now let's move on to the some other chapters from your PU2 only. We are currently discussing only PU2 chapters. We have not yet touched any PU1 chapters. Magnetism and matter, 2 question. Electromagnetic induction, 2 question. Okay, atoms and nuclei, sister chapters. From each chapter, some year 3 question, some year 2 question comes. Okay, so for example, in atoms, if you get 3 question, nuclei you will get 2 questions. In some other year, if you get 2 questions from atoms, then you will get 3 questions from nuclei. Right, now in the chapter nuclei also some questions, some portions are deleted. For example, the radioactivity part where you have to do some calculation questions, that is deleted here. So I am expecting that 3 questions will come from atoms chapter and 2 questions will come from nuclei chapter. That is my prediction. May not be true, but that is my prediction for this year. So these are all important chapters. So 36 marks you have scored if you study all the important chapters. 10 marks you will score if you study these 4 chapters. So 46 marks is guaranteed if you study these chapters. Now these chapters are relatively easy, not super difficult question comes. Medium level questions might come, but relatively easy. Now these are the chapters I recommend from your first PU that you have to study. Okay, now this is not a fixed recommendation. You can replace this chapter with any other chapter of your choice, but except the chapter units and measurement. Units and measurement, generally there is no consistent questions coming from that chapter every year, so don't focus too much on units and measurement, even though that is a very basic chapter. Concepts from units and measurement are used in other chapters, so if you have that basic knowledge, you can skip that chapter for now. Okay, so motion in a straight line, 1 question comes from this chapter. Motion in a plane, 1 question comes from this chapter. Newton's laws, 1 question comes from this chapter. Now if you don't want to study motion, Newton's law, you can study work, energy, power or gravitation, whatever you want. Okay, those all chapters generally have 1 question coming. Now rotational motion is important chapter, 2 question comes from this chapter, rotational motion and rigid body, but this is little hard chapter. From this you can expect 1 of the 2 questions will be hard category. So if you are not comfortable with rotational motion, you can study gravitation and work, energy, power. So those 2 chapters, relatively easier chapter, and if you study those 2 chapters, you can still score 2 marks because they also have 1 weightage. Right, so but because this is a high weighted chapter, 2 questions coming from this chapter, so I cannot skip that. But my personal opinion is, if this chapter is little hard to understand as well, lot of foreign kind of concepts, if you have not studied that chapter in your PU1 and if you are lacking your knowledge in your PU1, then you can skip this chapter and you can replace this with any other 2 good chapters. For example, kinetic theory of gas, waves, sounds. Okay, you can replace those chapters. Okay, and I recommend that at least go through the basic concepts at least like once or twice from the PU1 chapters. Right, and thermodynamics is important chapters. From here also you get 1 question, some graph related questions, some easy Carnot engine related questions, so you can get 1 easy question if you study thermodynamics. Thermodynamics is not super difficult chapter to study. So from there you get 6 questions. So how many marks? 36 from most important chapters, 10 marks from medium important chapters, and 6 marks from some of your PU2 chapters. So if you complete all these marks, add all these marks, you will get 52. So 52 marks is guaranteed, right? And another 8 marks, and there is most important part of KCET is there is no negative marking. So even if you don't know the answer, you can guess the answer and you can answer it. Okay, now few things you have to remember while studying. Okay, practice makes human perfect. So how can you practice? Practice is basically Abhyas KCET test series. Revise important chapters before exam. We have done a lot of one-shot revision videos. You can check that out. Or if you are part of Abhyas test series, you can revise the questions that we are going to give you. Attempt mock tests. Mock test is again Abhyas KCET test series. Here we are going to give you, right now we are currently giving you part tests which is covering the syllabus. Then next week onwards we will be giving you full length tests. So if you practice those tests, it will be very, very good for you to ace the KCET exam. Learn tricks and shortcuts to answer quickly. I have already discussed a lot of tricks, lot of shortcuts to answer, not only formulative shortcuts and tricks, but for calculative shortcuts and tricks. I always use this in my videos, and in Abhyas test series also, whenever I am solving questions, I teach you a lot of tricks. Read the questions completely before answering. This is very, very, very important. Many students answer questions without reading it properly. They just read it half-heartedly and then answer. I have seen this in your PU board exam as well. While discussing the paper, many students didn't read the complete question and they answered wrong. Okay, so be careful, read the question carefully, read the options carefully. If you see that this is a calculative question, then you have to use the calculations immediately. Other than that, if it is if you have to read the question, wrong answer, correct answer, which of this is correct, so in that case you have to read the question properly. Read the question completely before answering. Next is focus easy and medium questions over hard ones. If during the exam, if you are able to solve some questions, solve it. But other than that, if you think that this question might be hard, it might require some extra time, stop that question. You just circle on the question that you can revisit them later on. Okay, whatever questions you can solve it without doing much mathematics, much calculations, answer them first. Okay, then later on you come back and you can answer the difficult questions later on. Okay. Time management is important, and for time management you have to practice. Abhyas KCET platform is giving you that practice platform. You have to answer 60 questions in 60 minutes, so you will be well prepared if you take Abhyas test series. Mark questions for review. As I said, if you are answering some questions, suppose question number 8, I feel this is a little bit difficult, I will highlight this question, and later on, once I have completed my test paper, I will come back to question number 8, I will read it again and try to solve it. Okay, because if I try it right now, if I am not solving it, I am wasting some time which might be helpful for me to answer some questions which is after this question number 8, right? So when you face a roadblock, you think if you think that this question I don't know exact relation, I might be able to solve it but I am not sure, just mark it and skip that question for now. Okay, now you use logical thinking. In some cases, some answers you might be able to answer it using logical thinking without doing much mathematics, without doing lot of calculations. So for that again you have to practice, right? So I hope this helps you to understand what are all the important chapters, what are all the important questions, type of questions that might come. So I hope I have helped you to reduce the fear that you might be thinking that I have to score huge. Also, 50% of the exam is already over. You have already completed your PU board exam. 50% is already over. Remaining 50% you have to score well so that you can still secure a good rank below 1000. Below 1000 is our target. So always keep that in mind, right? I hope you enjoyed this lecture, and if you have any suggestions, please don't forget to mention that in the comment below. I'll be back with new videos, and if you are watching this video for the first time, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. I'll be back. Till then, bye.